Hello, my name is Caleb Smith, the editor of the Rocket Miner newspaper, here with your regular COVID-19 coronavirus update for March 23rd, 2020. I'm coming to you from a different location than usual. Last week, the management of the Rocket Miner newspaper made a decision to close our offices to the public, and this week the directive came down that the news staff and the advertising staff are to work from home. We're not even to be in the office ourselves. We, like other businesses and individual groups and families, are practicing social distancing. The idea is to reduce the risk of us contracting the virus and spreading it to others. This comes at a time when today, Superintendent of Public Instruction, Jillian Ballo, made the announcement that the state is canceling testing this spring. Students don't have to worry about the Y-top in the coming weeks, which is good considering the disruption of classes. The idea is that the state of Wyoming, as with many other places, received a waiver from the U.S. Department of Education. For statistical analysis, they're just going to repeat last year's numbers, and the goal is, and the hope, is that we'll be able to just resume next year. The superintendent of public instruction also advised school districts that they need to be preparing a Plan B if schools do not reopen to normal classes later this year. While local school districts number 1 and number 2 have closed classes through at least the April 3rd, with the hope of being able to do something more after that as they continue to review the situation. Ballo said that there needs to be additional planning in case it takes us longer to return to classes as usual at schools. Governor Mark Gordon is saying something similar, as he's saying that he believes the pandemic will continue to impact the lives of Wyomingites for the foreseeable future. He noted something that we did in these videos as well, that the current number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Wyoming is most likely not reflective of the true number of virus cases. He's citing a limit of testing supplies. We've also noted that the time between when someone's infected, when they show symptoms, when they seek treatment and testing for those symptoms, and the time it takes for the testing to get back, that's going to mean that there's a delay. When it does come to the number of confirmed cases in Wyoming, the Wyoming Department of Health this evening is reporting 28 cases. That breakdown includes 10 in Campbell County, 2 in Carbon County, 10 in Fremont County, 7 in Laramie County, 1 in Natrona County, 1 in Park County, 4 in Sheridan County, and 2 in Teton County. This thing is moving a lot faster than I personally was hoping it would. Even when it comes to production of the Rocket Miner and my own personal preparations, I was hoping to have a few more days to get things in order. Lots of other people are, no doubt, in the same situation. One of the other things that surprised me, a development that came sooner than I was hoping, is that I'm already beginning to hear online or on talking heads people talking about the cost of life and the trade-offs involved. What are you willing to sacrifice for the sake of one person? I hope we wouldn't get here yet, but this is where we're at. In civil cases, it often pops up when a person is suing like for a cause of an accident or something horrible like that. Whether maybe the person's lost their arm or other serious injury that prevents their ability to work to the fullest of their ability prior to the situation. There are people whose job it is to put a price tag on what is it worth to have lost the use of your left hand for the rest of your life? what is the potential loss of a human life and the salary and other benefits that they bring to the family. I've already begun to see some people talk about the value of a life, and while from an ideological standpoint you should say that any life's the same, there are some people who are putting price tags saying a life of a younger person is worth more than an older person, a life of a person with this type of education or this type of position in the community is worth more. My words to you today is that I'm not going to try to tell you what the value of life is. I personally have an idea in mind. It's something we're going to have to keep in mind in the coming days. And I'm not going to try to convince you to agree with my number. I'd be hopeful, and ways both directly and indirectly I'm going to push for people to be willing to sacrifice a lot for the sake of another's life, even if it's not someone in your own family. Lord knows that I have family members that if I was given a certain amount of money, that if I could turn that over or sacrifice that much, they'd be back. I'd do it. Or I'd save every penny that I could until I could do that. It's more of a metaphorical thing, or you sometimes see that in certain movies, where what would you give to have a little bit more time with someone that you care for? What would you give so somebody else could have a little bit more time with the person they care for? As we start these debates about what we as individuals and as society are willing to sacrifice and what's acceptable, what price we're going to put on there, my advice to you is that don't let somebody else lower your number. If you think that it is worth isolating yourself or taking the hit financially or just doing your best to hunker down the best you can, please don't let anybody else lower your standards. The fact that we're already talking about it lets me know that there are going to be some people out there who are going to try to push the number that they've decided upon, push them on others. And like I said, I'm okay with trying to convince people that let's sacrifice a little bit more, even if we don't personally see the benefit, because it will benefit somebody else. But please, don't let anyone lower your number of what you think people need to be doing. Whether that's leaving other supplies on the shelves, whether that's sharing what you have, whether that's hunkering down longer than you want to, just because you know that raises the odds that someone you know, or maybe your neighbor down the street, or maybe someone that you will never directly know how you impacted their life, to know that you did everything you can to hold that standard to the degree that lets you sleep at night. In the time of sickness and plague and viruses and our pandemic, selfishness kills. I can know that and still have hope. I can know that people will do atrocious things, but that there will still be bits of light in the community that let me know that other people still care and are going to do what they can. It's a new world, and we don't know where all it's going. But hold on to the values that you need to. Don't let somebody else lower them for you. So this has been Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, continuing with the rest of our staff to give you updates on coronavirus, give you exhortation and support where we can. Please keep looking for more videos. Be keeping an eye out for more coverage in the newspaper and online. This is Caleb Smith wishing you a good evening.